What's going on, everybody? It's the Thehunter, and today we're going to be talking about New Game Plus. Now, what the heck is that, and what am I even talking about? Some people call it New Game Plus, some people call it Prestige. It's technically neither of those things when it comes to the Hunter Call of the Wild because, well, there's no Prestige system and there is no New Game Plus. I'm actually seeing the term thrown around quite a bit in the Call of the Wild community, and it's basically just a reset, a restart of your profile. You go to the main menu, you hit New Game, and that's exactly what it is. You don't get anything special for it, you just start out from scratch. Now, in this video, I'd like to kind of discuss both the positives and negatives of starting from scratch. There's some nuance to it that you might want to think about before you just pull the trigger. Now, myself personally, I have done this. It was to my own benefit because, well, I dirty grinded. For those of you that don't know, I dirty grinded my maps to the point where they were literally broken and wouldn't spawn anything. And yeah, that's possible. So learn from me, kids. Don't shoot everything that you see and just don't pick it up because you're going to pay the price for it. The game is not capable of actually retaining the memory of, you know, shooting hundreds of animals at a time and then simply not respawning them. So it really does break the game when you do this. So again, don't dirty grind. So let's talk about what restarting, or at least what hello, excuse me, sir, we're trying to record a video and you're being rather rude right now. As I was saying before we were rudely interrupted there, when you hit restart or new game, it deletes every single bit of data that you had within the Hunter Call of the Wild, with the exception of a couple of things. Obviously, your playtime is going to stick around depending on which platform you're on. Now, myself personally, none of my stats were retained. Everything got reset to 0. My diamond counter, my animal kill count, my accuracy stats, everything flushed down the toilet. I was personally devastated by this because I was rather proud of those numbers. We've got years and years and years and years of playtime on this profile. So that kind of sucked. I wish I would have at least written them down. I didn't know it was going to remove those, and I've actually heard reports of some people that have reset and it doesn't do that for them. So I don't know. Just beware. If you're really proud of your stats and you're going to reset, make sure to write them down, but that way you can remember them, because there's a chance you're not going to see them anymore. Something else a new game will bring along is brand new maps. Now, obviously, we're not talking about new, never before seen maps. I mean, it's going to clean the slate, pretend as if you had never played on a map before. If you own all the maps, you're going to have to rediscover all your maps. This can be seen as both a positive and a negative because, well, it's kind of a pain in the butt to unlock a map sometimes. On the other hand, that means you've got brand spanking new respawns that you've never seen before, and you never know what you're going to see. This is particularly important for those players on console because there is absolutely no way to reset your populations outside of a new game. That being said, I do not recommend starting a new game simply for that purpose, because just like your stats, that money counter is going to go back down to 0. Now, obviously, it's a little bit easier if you've got some of the DLC weapons and you can make money quicker, but it's still a hard grind to get up. You've got tents to buy, you've got tripods to buy, you've got ammo and time changes to go for, and when you have $0, it takes a while to get started, and to your own detriment if you're trying to get a great one by simply spamming new game, it's probably not going to happen. That being said, I will say, looking at our play stats here, we can see I have at the time of this recording, we have a diamond counter of 108, which was much, much higher. I know more than that. I don't actually know because I don't remember, because I didn't write it down and it reset. That being said, most, if not all, of those diamonds were what I call wild-caught diamonds because of the hard reset. I'm not lying to you guys when I say that my maps were legitimately and genuinely broken. Obviously, there were a handful that didn't play that much that were fine, like Hirschfelden or Mississippi, but every other banger map was absolutely destroyed. I mean, you could find stuff, but you weren't going to find a diamond, you weren't going to find a rare. There's just nothing really spawning. And then you added the fact that we couldn't have access to multiplayer for a long time. It was just ruined, and I just had to do something about it. that hard reset, or that's what I call it, the hard reset, was pretty devastating. I mean, we had millions and millions and millions of dollars. Money was not an issue at all in this game. We could buy anything we wanted as many times as we want, or as much as we wanted, as long as we wanted. We had so much money that it wasn't even funny. In retrospect, the money grind has actually been pretty fun because it turns the game from trophy hunting. Whenever you can't find a trophy, it's kind of a bummer and you're like sitting there like, darn, we failed the mission. I always need money now, so that's kind of fun being back in that place of having to grind for that money, giving sense and purpose to actually going out here and just shooting stuff, which is a ton of fun. So that's been a pretty good aspect to the reset. Again, I just wanted to reconfirm for you guys, when you reset, everything goes away. All your ammo that you have, all your XP, all the money that you have, all those tents, tripods, ground blinds, all those grinds that you've worked hard for, you're gonna have to redo them. That was definitely a big bummer because I had some really good zones set up, but we were on several double-digit grinds. And again, because of dirty grinding, after the reset, boom, everything seemingly was fixed. So how do you know if your game's broken or if it warrants a full, complete new game? Well, obviously I can't tell you guys how to play your game. You can restart it anytime you want, but again, having done this with a lot of experience in the game, I just want someone that is contemplating hitting that button to at least listen to someone that's done it and see if it's actually for you. Probably going to repeat that statement several times this video because it is a big decision. It's not as simple as, oh, we're just resetting maps. That's not how it works. Like I said, you're going to have to start from level 0 all the way back up to level 60. That means you got to unlock all your perks again. You've got to buy all that ammo again. Got to buy those tents and tripods and ground blinds. And when you're just starting out, that is hard to do. Now, again, I said earlier, it is when you have DLCs, obviously a lot easier to make money, but you still have to grind all that money, and that can take some time. So you're not immediately going to hit new game and just jump right back into grinding great ones or whatever it is that you were doing prior. You're going to have to rank up, which, again, for some is fun. It was actually pretty fun for me because it had been so long since I had, hit level 60 that I forgot how fun the XP grind truly was, and that's one of those, it can be brutal for new players that don't have an understanding. I think the game is intentionally meant to be somewhat difficult when you start out. It's a hunting game, it's not, just a gimme. Once you hit level 60 and get some experience under your belt, obviously the game becomes much, much easier, and if you're one of those players, then I'm preaching to the choir here, you know what I'm talking about, but if you are one of those veteran players that have been playing a while and you just want, just to freshen up, I would recommend it, honestly. It helped me a bunch. It kind of gave new life to the game as well, because like I said, we're still working on money. We're still working on, I have so many maps that I don't have tents and tripods on now. Like, it's going to take forever before that happens again. But again, it's another goal that we have something else to work towards. I hope in the future that they actually add some sort of prestige system. Whether they add, I don't know, a camo, I don't care what it is. I'd be willing to do it just because it's fun. But again, if you're one of these players that's seeing everybody talking about it, but you just got Call of the Wild last week, don't worry about it. If you haven't hit level 60 yet, you don't need to hit new game. Promise you. If you're level 60, but all you've done is grind great ones, you don't need to hit new game, because I promise you, your maps aren't at a state, unless of course you've been dirty grinding. If you've been dirty grinding, feel bad for you, go ahead and hit that new game button. You'll be glad you did. But again, I don't want to conflict or have someone lose all of their everything in game and then just ruin the experience because, well, it seemed trendy on the internet. I'm definitely in the camp that a new game should definitely be purposeful, and I don't think trying to spawn a super rare is one of those. I just want to keep on hammering that point home, folks. This is a full-blown new game. You do not retain any sort of saves from your previous playthrough. It all goes away. The only thing the game will keep is your trophies in the trophy lodge. Luckily. Now, if that wasn't the case, I would have never done it. I would have just dealt with it. I would just hoped we got a new map I could grind on and then never play the old maps again. But Luckily, you do get to keep your trophy lodge, so that is something important. If you're gonna reset your game, make sure whatever you have saved in your save for your taxidermies, make sure you go ahead and get those taxidermied, put them in the lodge, otherwise you're gonna lose them forever. Again, double and tripling down here. If you hit new game, nothing is saved. It all goes away. That favorite gun of yours, you're gonna have to buy it again. That new scope, you're gonna have to buy it again. Not only you're gonna have to buy it again, you're gonna have to unlock it again. Boy, is it a pain in the butt to realize that, yeah, just because I got this DLC gun doesn't mean I have enough experience to buy polymer tips. Just keep that in mind. It's gonna be a struggle again. If you've been playing at level 60 for a long time and you know you feel like it's time to actually start fresh, just remember the game sucks when you first start out. So but I do think ultimately it is worth it if you're a player like myself that, you know, has spent a lot of time in game. Maybe you've got just, you know, you've got some bum maps, you know, you hunt them consistently, you run around. Again, for myself, this is what my map would look like minus the noise cone there. We'd just see nothing. There would be, I would spend $20,000 in time changes just to see nothing. And toward the end, that's finally when I gritted my teeth and said, you know what, this is ridiculous. Because I kind of relied on multiplayer in order to be successful in the game. I had to go to someone else's map in order to find things. My maps weren't doing it, and in the end, the reset worked and it fixed all my problems. So if you're in that camp, definitely hit reset. If you're one of those players that immediately jumped on the Great One grind, again, I don't think a reset is good for you because, again, you're not going to be able to get enough money fast enough to reset up that grind for it to be fun. You're going to kind of ruin the experience for yourself. Outside of that, I can't really think of a reason not to specifically do it. Unless you're, you know, you just want to keep doing it. There's really no actual true benefit. It's not efficient enough to get better spawns. So if that's your reasoning or thought process, don't do it. Trust me, you're gonna have a bad time, okay? But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. For those of you guys that have reset, you know, what have been your guys' experience? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're thinking about it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to be vigilant and respond to you and answer any questions that you may have if I haven't answered them already in this video. We didn't really talk about much. I sit here and try to think of all like the little intricacies of a big reset, but there really are none. I mean, here we go. There's a ton of stuff. I mean, this is a clear example. My Reventuli Coast, and I've seen some people talk about how dead Reventuli Coast feels. Well, there's so much stuff around, I ain't got enough ammo on me to actually take care of these guys. But hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one.